Hi guys, it's Elise, and today I am announcing a readathon. So for the past couple of years on Twitter and my book blog, I've been one of the co-hosts of the SAPPHICATHON, which is a readathon that's dedicated to reading sapphic books. If you're not familiar with the term, sapphic refers to women-loving women as well as people who identify as aligned with womanhood in some way, who also love women. It is meant to be inclusive of various gender identities and also of both lesbians and bi girls and people who identify in other ways. Hosting this readathon is honestly one of my favorite things about my book blogging experience, and I am so excited for the third round. This readathon is occurring from May 18th to May 25th, and there are 7 challenges, but again, those are always totally optional. The goal of the readathon is just to read some sapphic books and have fun while doing it. I will link my good friend Jami's announcement post down below. I'm hosting this with her and our other friend Tash. You might know Jamison from her blog at jamishelves, which is, by the way, one of the cleverest titles for a blog I have ever heard. So there are 7 challenges for this readathon, and again, these are totally optional. Challenge number 1 is a reread. Challenge number 2 is a graphic novel. Challenge number 3 is a trope you love or a trope that resonates with you in some way. Challenge number 4 is reading something by an author of color, though the hope is that you're reading multiple books by an author of color during this readathon. Challenge number 5 is a book you got for free in some way. I am doing an audiobook that I got from the library for this. Challenge number 6 is something that's been on your TBR for a while. And challenge number 7, as usual, is the free choice. You could do anything for this book. You can absolutely also double up books, although I am going to be attempting to not double up books, despite the fact that I think I have one book that literally fits 4 of the challenges for this. But without further ado, let's get into the TBR. So challenge number 1 is to do a reread, and for this I have picked The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of my favorite ever books. I love it so much, but I've also only read it once, and it made me cry so much that I really didn't want to reread it, but this is a book that I think about all the time. Genuinely, all the time I think about the influence of this book on my life, and I am very excited to reread it. Challenge number 2 for this readathon is to read a graphic novel, and for this I have selected Monstrous Volume 3 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. This is a Hugo Award-winning graphic novel series about monsters and demons, and it has the most gorgeous illustrations known to man. Like, seriously, I just need everyone to look at them. They're so pretty. This is a graphic novel series I've historically been really invested in, and I was obsessed with the first 2 novels. They were really, really fun, but I just didn't get around to ever reading this 3rd novel despite owning it, partially just because by the time I bought this, I actually didn't really remember what had happened previously, so I sort of have to go back through my review notes, but luckily I have written some very good ones, so hopefully I will mostly understand the plot. I will say these graphic novels tend to get a little tiny bit confusing, but they're so gorgeous, and I'm decently invested in a bunch of the characters here, so I end up really enjoying these anyway. The 3rd challenge is to read a book containing a trope you love, and for this I have selected A Memory Called Empire by Arkady Martine. This actually fits several tropes I love, I think. It is sci-fi, it's space opera, there's court intrigue, and it's part murder mystery. Those are all tropes and dynamics that I really, really love, and I've been excited to read this one for a really long while, but just for some reason haven't gotten into it, and I'm so excited to do so. Keep seeing my Goodreads notifications and noticing that I actually haven't checked my Goodreads in a week because I am currently in finals week. I am so sorry. Challenge number 4 is to read a book by an author of color. I am hoping through the other challenges in this readathon to read at least 2 other books by authors of color, but the one I've selected that fits this challenge specifically is Storm Song by C.L. Polk. This is, I think, the 2nd book in a duology. I don't think there's a 3rd book after this. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I got the chance to read Witchmark, the 1st book in this series, as an ARC from Tor Books, and ever since I've been really, really excited for the sequel, which focuses on the sister of the main character and is also an FF romance. The 1st book is an MM romance, actually. just in case you were interested in this duology. I think that's important to know. But I'm really, really excited to read this book and so excited to get back into this world, as the first book just really hit different for me, and yeah, I'm just hyped about this one. You can tell how many books on this TBR are books that have just been sitting on my shelf for so long, not because I'm not super excited to read them, but because I have no brain cells and I don't read books sometimes. The fifth challenge is a book that you got for free, and for this I'm going to read one of 2 audiobooks, or possibly both if I have time. But the 2 audiobooks are We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia and The Stars and the Blackness Between Them by Winata Petrus. Both of these are books I'm super excited to read. Honestly, it just depends on which audiobook loan comes through from my library, and I am going to try and read both of them if I have time, but reading 8 books in 7 days is a little bit crazy, so I don't know if that's gonna happen. Whatever, they're both on my TBR for eventually. The 6th challenge here is a book that's been on your TBR for a long time, and this is one that I'm actually going to have to buy from my local independent bookstore because I want to support them. But it's Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. This book has been on my list for so long, and I honestly just don't know why I haven't read it yet. It seems like everything I want in a novel, and I'm super excited to read it. The other one I'm sort of interested in for this challenge is The Midnight Lie by Marine Rutkowski. I think I'm going to buy both of them from Kepler's. I will also link Kepler's store down below because they're a really wonderful independent bookstore in the Bay Area that is wonderful to support for author events, for a lot of YA book stuff, and also a lot of adult book stuff. They're wonderful, the people there are amazing, and I just really would like to support them. The 7th and final challenge for this readathon is a free choice, and I'm gonna be honest, what might end up happening here is that I just read one of the books that I haven't gotten around to for my other challenges, given that I've now listed 2 options for 2 separate challenges. But one other book that I'm sort of looking at for this choice is The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. I got this as an ARC from Kepler's actually, and I don't know why I haven't gotten around to it. It is a Sapphic 12th Night retelling, and I am so excited to read it, and I don't know why I haven't. I literally have no excuse for any of this. This was an ARC from October. Like, do you see what kind of clownery I'm participating in right now? So that's actually it for my TBR. I know finding really good Sapphic books can be really difficult, so one other thing I'm going to do is link a bunch of Sapphic rec posts and also my Sapphic bookshelf on Goodreads, just in case you need some recommendations and are looking for more books. A few that I've read recently and think more people should be talking about include This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Multar and Max Gladstone, Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand, Creer's War by Nina Varela, actually one of my favorite books that I've read recently. This one is so good. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. I know I won't shut up about this book, but I won't shut up about this book. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, a series that I really need to finish. Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nung. The Grief Keeper by Alexandra Villasante. This one is excellent. Last but very much not least, I wanted to mention 2 books that contain non-binary or otherwise gender non-conforming main characters, but that also should be read and that I would like people to pay more attention to. That's the running thematic motif in this video, honestly. These 2 are Blanca y Roja by Anna Marie Miclemore and Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. I mention them because both of them contain main characters who do identify themselves as sapphic in some way. I think both of them identify as bi. And yes, I hope that even if you do not pick them for this readathon, you will choose to read them at some point because they are both very good and both worthy of a lot more recognition than they get. Okay, so that's the end of my TBR video. I hope that you are all doing okay right now, despite the craziness that is going on around us. I hope that you and your loved ones are safe, and I'm sending you all a lot of love in this trying time, and I hope that some of you will join me for this readathon. If you got to the end of this video, thank you so much. Comment the word cookie in the description or something. I don't know. I love you all.